I'm going to title this podcast, Yes, There Can Be Good News and Autism.
What's the good news?
Well, I mean, I think we're going to get into that, but I just, I don't know. I just feel like you get caught sometimes in the funk of is there ever good news? You know what I mean? Is there ever momentum, positive forward momentum?
Right.
So I want to get into that. I'm like, good news. Good news. Like upbeat stuff.
Yeah, I feel like good things are happening.
Good things are happening, man. And
it's nice to start seeing the developmental changes.
do you know how everyone's over the years, the therapist's been it's going to go backwards, it's going to go forward, it's going to stay in the middle, but then all of a sudden there'll be a jump. And it won't feel like it for the longest time, but then if that's just part of it, and then you're just like, oh, yeah, right. You tell everybody that. You know what I mean? And then it's it happens. I'm going to get into that in a second. Real quick, our title sponsor, Tracy Slepcevic, The Warrior Mom. Her book is Warrior Mom. You can get it at warriormom.org. Tracy is also throwing the Autism Health Summit. Tickets are available. Go to autismhealth.com. Can't wait for that, by the way. San Antonio, February, huge resort. 30 speakers. Awesome. I mean, it is the spot to be for parents of autism. So looking forward to connecting with people there. autismhealth.com for the tickets. Yeah, I just feel I don't know. Cal is just, I don't know. He's a little different now. There's some positive forward motion. I'll give you an example because I'm sure people are like, well, give us an example. Stop saying everything's great. All right. So he gets out of the shower the other day and he asked for a brush to brush his hair. It's whoa.
Which is huge.
I'm like, well, where did that come from? Right after he's done brushing his hair, by the way, he did a great job brushing his hair. He says, I want a hot fan. I'm like, a hot fan? I don't think I know what that is.
And then I figured out it's a blow dryer.
It's a blow dryer.
Yep.
And
he let me blow dry his hair.
Crazy.
Yeah. So Cal,
that's at one time too. That wasn't he did the one thing and then the other thing. That was at one time.
That's 3 steps.
Yeah.
That's good. Good hygiene. Cal has not been okay with cutting his hair ever. And he was fine for a while with washing it, but as far as brushing, that was not happening. So to see that all of a sudden, especially when he initiated it, was a huge deal. And I always talk about how he has global developmental delay. So he's a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old body. Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see the changes of a 3.5, 4-year-old, which like you were just saying, you're at a standstill forever. And now we're seeing that jump. And it's so nice to see.
You need that as a parent, because there's this abyss sometimes where, I don't know, it feels I guess it's about a year where nothing really changes. And you're so this is it, because we're doing all the stuff. We're doing all the stuff.
Right.
30 plus hours a week in therapy and just all the stuff, And then all of a sudden, you kind of wake up one day and then something like that happens. And you're like, well, what? I can't believe it. But then I was thinking too, I just did this thing on TikTok about this guy, Marcus Boyd. He was nonverbal till 14 years old, right? So there was 14 years he didn't say a word. So there has to be a day where he said a word, and there was.
Wow.
And so for Cal, it was the same thing. It was for him to be able to be I need a brush, I want to brush my hair, and then I want a hot fan, which is the blow dryer.
Right.
It's there had to be a day. If it was going to happen, then there would just have to be a day it would happen, right?
Or you'd hope for that at least.
Right.
It's nice to see.
It is.
Well, we felt like we had a baby for a really long time. Then we felt like we had a 3-year-old for a very long time. So it's nice to see that 3.5-year-old, 4-year-old range, come to life.
Yeah. And I should mention, because I don't want to be I don't know. There's podcasts out there, not necessarily in the autism space, just whatever. They're we did it. See, we did it. Follow, whatever. I mean, we've had fecal smearing over the last 2 weeks. We still have had a couple of meltdowns. I mean, I'm just saying this gain of function or increase in function, it's not it just everything else is gone. No. I don't want people to, because there are people who are very new to this, as we were a couple of years ago.
Right.
So I just, it just comes with other things. And so, but I will say, being able to see him do that stuff, it makes the other stuff okay, well, we're moving on though in other directions. So that's kind of a cool thing too.
Well, so he's really into reading books now.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had you read him a book the other day, and
That's
he memorized it.
Yep. He's memorized this whole book. It's Dr. Seuss about sharks. And I was reading it and he was sort of mouthing it, and I'm like, you already know this book, don't you? It's kind of funny.
But then he's also been like, he hasn't wanted to play with toys for a while. He was just stuck with playing Play-Doh, looking at his iPad. Now he's doing occupational therapy twice a week, and he's learning how to play with all these different toys. And playing is just a huge part of developing, you know? So I'm starting to see those different functions. So he's playing now like a 3-year-old, you know?
Also, he's got a relatively new therapist. This is the OT.
Yeah.
And we're working on, or she's working on, but we've really seen a difference. Big responses versus small responses. So, you know, on the the beginning of a meltdown, it's the volcano's starting to erupt, and she's like, Cal, are you having a big response? Because we can have a small response. It's really helped.
It's helping a lot.
I mean, who would have thought like something like that? It's funny because now I'm kind of like, as he's starting to get a little bit unsettled in a situation, I'm like, Cal, let's have and he goes, small response. And I'm like, right, it's okay. You can still get your feelings out, and it can be a small response.
I know. And then she just reminds him a lot, like, Cal, you're having, like you just described it. Cal, you're having a big response, but you can just have a small response.
Yeah.
This is a small response.
Yeah, we can just...
It's not a big deal.
Talk it out and, get to where you need to go. And so
by doing that, it's decreasing his self-injuring behavior.
Yeah.
Which is headbanging and biting.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, we still are dealing with other stuff because that's the deal, right? That is the deal. But it's so nice to see just the increase in some of this functionality where it's like, you get to be like, okay, because you know how sometimes it's like every light at the end of the tunnel is a train,
right.
And you get down and you just whatever. But then you see something like this, you're like, wait a minute. Okay, we've been at this now for 3 years, and it's been hard. It's stressful. It's exhausting. Let's just be honest. Stressful is probably not the word. Like, typical families have stress.
No, it's exhausting.
I mean, do you remember like the stress we used to stress about? And it's like, well, that wasn't. What was that? Why do we worry about all that stuff? That wasn't a big deal. But so this is like, yeah, it's exhausting, but just so nice to get that little glimmer, that little flicker of light when you're like, oh yeah, and he's happy. Like, it's nice to see him happy, reading a book, and he's happy. And now he's asking people to read him a book.
Well, and we both see it.
Yeah.
We both see the change.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just thinking, it's like, gosh, it's just nice to have like a moment to talk about something where it's like, we're sort of blown away. Like it's, I don't know. This morning it was funny because I was taking Charlie to school. Austin's not feeling well, so she stayed home. And he's like, where's my daddy? And so I walked out and I was like, hi, Cal. And he goes, hi, Daddy. It's time to take my Charlie to school. He's good at kind of directing traffic. He'll kind of like start letting people know who's doing what, when they're doing it, and things like that, how they're doing it. But again, you see that with the other stuff, and it's like, oh, this is cool. Like it's,
It is cool.
Just start feeling kind of cool. I want to say hi to Fun Factory Sensory Gym. We have a lot of owners of therapy centers and therapists that follow our channel. And Fun Factory Sensory Gym, I can't do it justice by explaining it, although I do get kind of giddy because what they do is awesome. But what they do, whether it's a school, people's basements, therapy centers, churches, whatever, is incredible. They kind of bring this ultimate outdoor sensory experience inside. FunFactorySensoryGym.com. Follow their socials. They have the coolest videos, like their Instagram reels and stuff. How they go into a room, and then like a day later, it's like, that's not the same room, but it's the same room. It's awesome.
Well, even everything that they can connect, like all the swings and everything, it's crazy.
Oh, the tubes, like the tunnels, the underground tunnel systems. It's not underground, but it's like, below all the other stuff. It's really cool. I mean, as a grown man, I'm like, make one for me. I want one in my house. This looks like a lot of fun. Also, the Lift Academy in Clearwater, Florida. These are just absolute awesome. It's an absolute awesome organization around the neurodiverse, and they've got this new campus in Clearwater. It is the mecca of neurodiversity. It is so cool. liftfl.org. They've got a bunch of cool events coming up, and they're just great supporters of our neurodiverse children here in the Tampa Bay area. Liftfl.org for the Lift Academy. Something else that we were talking about was seeing this change in function and things like that, and a positive development, but that comes with an investment, right? Like, we've had to switch up a lot of stuff lately.
A lot.
And now you're basically there's 2 or 3 days a week where you're basically, well, you're driving Mr. Cow. Remember the movie Driving Miss Daisy? Is that what it was called? Driving Miss Daisy? Yeah, you're driving Mr. Cow. Because it's like you're sort of like his limo driver all over the place. But I think that's, I know it's annoying for you, and it bothers me that you have to do it. But at the same time,
it's working.
I would look at it as an investment. Like for other people out there, it is an investment. You know, it's not like you're driving to like, I don't know, McDonald's, you know, to play.
Right.
You know, this is you're finding new avenues for him. And I also think too, maybe just not with diversity, but just all of us. Anytime you switch something up, like there's a real opportunity that you may flick a switch.
I know.
And go, this is working. Like, I mean, literally mean with anything in life. It could be like working out. It could be marketing your business. It could be anything. Switching it up, you know, jumping into a different body of water, and it could literally flick a switch and go, wow, that's working.
Well, I think it's important to change and keep changing, you know?
Yeah.
Think about people in our life that have like been living the same life forever and not making any changes. I mean, how boring is that? But then nothing's changing to get better.
Yeah, it's not productive. No, but you're right. Like think about married couples who have no kids and they do the same thing every day and then they complain and they're like, I'm so bored. You know, I hate going to work. And it's like, okay, now y'all have zero excuses for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have kids, certainly don't have special needs kids. Yeah, changing it up, flipping it up a little bit, man. That's, I don't know, there's something. I don't ever believe there's a secret sauce to anything, but there can be some secret ingredients that might lead to something pretty cool. Anyway, good job to you for doing that and organizing. I know it's such a pain with all the paperwork and the phone calls and the switching schedule. Didn't you go somewhere the other day and they're like, oh, we don't have them on the schedule today. You drove 30 minutes there?
Yeah, they did get him in.
No, I know, but it's, I mean, how did you feel the second they're like, he's not supposed to be here today? You're like, we just drove 30 minutes across town. Like,
well, for me, it was like less about having to drive that far. It's like, I'm here for this.
He needs it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he would have freaked out.
Yeah.
He would have been like, what do you mean? Like, we're getting back in the car.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. He's getting kind of excited with most of what he's doing. So that's been good to see. There's been times where it's not, you know.
He kind of like skips into this place.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's what she said.
He likes it.
That's really cool.
No, I mean, basically, like, he keeps me busy at the beginning of the week, and the end of the week is like my work week. Yeah. So you have to do what you have to do. And
just, you know, because I know we'll get a bunch of messages and stuff, like, we're 3 years into this, so and I don't know if it's funny, it's obviously all perspective. Like, for some people, like, 3 years, wow, you guys are infants at this. And other people who are, like, going through a diagnosis now, they're like, 3 years. Oh my gosh. You know, so it's just all about where you are.
Right. And look how much has changed. Yeah. Like how many times have I switched therapists, places, you know, school schedule.
I'll tell you, the downs have been dramatically down, but I will say the ups have been dramatically up.
Yeah.
We've had some sort of just like flatline stuff, but not much. If things did stay the same, it never stayed the same for long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they say that, you know, it's a roller coaster ride. Roller coaster's rarely flat, you know.
Right.
Who would get on that ride? That's dumb. You want to go up and down, right? So I promise you, when they say it's a roller coaster ride, it is, and it's wild, and you know the ups are ups and the downs are downs. But
I will say, sorry to interrupt you. I will say that, like, if you've tried occupational therapy or speech and you've stopped, there is a point in time where you need to go back. Like now, everything like that I started at the beginning, then it became like ABA was more important. We kind of stopped doing OT and speech, but now I'm bringing it back, and something's clicking right now.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. We're learning about him. He's learning about us, which is really interesting. I feel like our other kids, you know, I guess we're supposed to call them the typicals. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the woman was like, the typicals.
That's kind of funny.
I was like, that seems weird, but I'm in. Let's do it. The typicals.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't really try to learn about us. They just were like, they knew they were the kids and they knew they were getting the attention.
Yeah.
He kind of learns about us.
Why do you say that?
He knows our patterns. He knows what we do.
Yeah, he does.
He kind of knows.
Pays attention more.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't know. I feel like he just sort of knows like what we're about, what we're into.
Yeah.
The methods in which we do things, you know.
It is funny now that you're saying this. I'm like, He knows that he can do certain things with you that he can for me.
Yeah.
Like this, the syrup thing. Every time I leave the house, describe it.
Oh, gosh.
I would never do this. And he doesn't even try with me.
Well, my choices were do it or...
I know.
Yeah, it was going to be bad. So, yes, you would absolutely do it.
I'm saying for me, he doesn't do that.
No. Consider yourself lucky. You got a lot of stuff you deal with. You don't have to deal with the chocolate. It's called chocolate syrup cooking.
Don't say it too loud.
So you'll be with, yeah, he's out there. So you'll be, with some of your clients. And so it's me and then the typicals, the other kids, it's a group effort, and for some reason he goes, okay, time to cook with chocolate syrup. And I swear when he says it, I'm like, it's always the worst time. Like, I don't have time to cook with chocolate syrup. And cooking with chocolate syrup isn't like we're getting out a bowl of ice cream and putting chocolate syrup on it. No, that's what the typicals would do.
Yeah.
So it's like, get me a piece of pizza, get me a chicken nugget, get me an egg. So whatever the item is, you get it. Then he goes and gets the chocolate syrup on it. He pours it on it. And then he says he cooks it in the refrigerator. So that's like 10 minutes it'll be in the refrigerator. Now, in those 10 minutes, I'm praying to the Lord above that he'll just forget. Oh, no, that never happens. It never happens. Hasn't happened once. Prayed 100 times. I'm 0 for 100. Literally. He then nominates somebody to eat the item.
I feel bad for that person.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, yeah. Anyway, one time, our poor daughter, Austin, had to eat a whole chicken nugget with chocolate syrup on it. And she looked at me and she's like, and I just looked at her and I said, eat it now. I mean, it's not going to hurt her. I know it's disgusting, but if you don't do it, the rest of the day is going to be horrible for everyone. It is the take one for the team,
and I'm
Austin.
like hours from getting home.
Yeah, it is the take one for the team, Austin. Like that, whatever. I think Tyler one day had to eat, I think maybe it was apple slices with it. That wasn't
not too bad.
Wasn't horrible. Yeah. It was pizza with the chocolate syrup, and Trey had to eat it.
Oh my gosh.
He actually, he's kind of dramatic. So his face that he made, I'm like, you're 10. That's not the worst thing you could eat as a 10-year-old, right?
Yeah, it is pretty gross though.
It's disgusting, but like I said, it's you got to do it for the greater good. Thankfully, I've not been nominated yet. So, but it does scare me when it's time to cook with chocolate syrup.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I don't know what the numbers would be on YouTube. If that's a YouTube video or YouTube series, cooking with chocolate syrup. I don't know. It seems too just basic. It doesn't seem, that it's thought-provoking enough. But then again, he did put it on eggs once.
But he's not picking like a pretzel, which would be okay.
Delicious.
Good.
Ice cream.
He's
delicious.
not picking potato chips. Like there's potato chips dipped in chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Like hardened at like festivals or something.
Nothing like that.
Nope.
Nothing
Not
like that.
picking the good stuff.
So that's why I said the roller coaster, right? We've got some good things. We got some kind of crazy things like that. So it's, everybody's kind of got that. Hey, real quick, I just checked the Angel Sense website. They are still offering their GPS devices for free. This is the assistive technology, much more than a GPS device. But at the end of the day, you put this, on a backpack or inside a pocket. We can see everywhere Cal is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We can also listen into his environment, his background, and we can actually communicate with him if we need to. He can communicate back with us too, and there's nothing he needs to do. He just simply has to talk and answer us. But listening to his environment, you've seen a lot of the news stories lately. These issues with the bullying on the buses, the schools. Sometimes, unfortunately, the school staff is involved, or at least that's been alleged. So angelsense.com. Again, I just checked the website, and that is still free with a subscription. So we have both the watch. He's not ready for that yet. Hopefully we'll morph into that. But this technology is awesome. There's a lot that goes into it. Super accurate. I can't believe how accurate it is. It's kind of neat. I'll sometimes just turn it on and walk around the house with it and watch it change on kind of like a satellite view. Angelsense.com. For that, and there are like hundreds of testimonials from people that are like, I don't know what I would have done without it. So I invite you to do your own research on it. But angelsense.com. I wanted to real quick, because I know this is going to be a short one, but a real quick recap on Halloween, because we went into, and again, this kind of goes back to the roller coaster thing. Like we went into like, oh, Halloween. He loves Halloween. He loves being scary and scary things and everything. And for whatever reason, this Halloween wasn't for him.
Yeah, so he loves dressing up. He was all about Halloween. I was a little anxious about having him walk this year and go up to doors just because he's so fast.
Yeah.
And he's so strong, and his meltdowns are so much worse now. So we decided to put him in the wagon instead of going door to door walking. So that was different, but thank goodness we did, because we went up to a house. He did say trick or treat, but then we went up to a house that he got scared. And then we turned the corner and he decided he wanted Halloween to be over. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to take off his costume. Yep. So I thought I was prepared with my backpack. I wasn't. So he wanted to undress him right
you
then.
Had everything in there that we didn't need. The one thing we needed was back at the house.
Okay, I needed a pair of
clothes.
shorts.
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny. So he, like you were like, just undress him. It's fine. And so I'm like, okay, I'm undressing him, trying to keep him strapped in still so he doesn't run off. I take his top off, put his shirt on. Then I pull his pants off. And then he looks down and he said, "Oh no, I forgot my pants." And I'm like, oh my gosh. So Mark had to run home and get his shorts.
Yeah.
And then we put that on. We went around a little bit more, and he did say trick or treat a couple of times. He just was not into it.
No, for some reason he liked the kind of going around the wagon, going up to the homes. He was like, okay. Some of them he wasn't. Some of the candy he wanted like a bunch of it. Others he wasn't. He didn't want any of it. So listen, you're transitioning 24/7, right? In the special needs, lifestyle and the life cycle of it. So that was just kind of a transition Halloween for us where we just really weren't sure, what was going on.
I think everyone's journey is different. For us, autism has definitely gotten harder, but we are still dealing with global developmental delay. So that is two different things. So it's gotten harder for us. At the beginning, it was pretty easy, just, dealing with like a little kid with autism. Now it's much harder.
Yeah, it isn't, and we were, lucky to the way it all worked out to get a very early diagnosis. And so, yeah, there was that moment in the beginning where you're like, I don't know if I ever said this to myself, but I feel like I think I did say it to myself back then. Like, man, autism's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to deal with. I mean, we can get through this.
Right.
But you just, then it's just, it's always changing. It's always different.
Every year has gotten harder, and every year he's gotten bigger and stronger. But we are starting to see the light at the tunnel as far as a developmental jump.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
One thing I will say about Halloween, and I'm going to bring this up in a second here, is what is up with the controversy of trick-or-treating in the blue pumpkin? What an online controversy. I'll get to that in a second, but real quick, thank you to technologynorth.net and their CEO, Ling Huang. Ling has developed what is going to be the next big thing. Actually, I shouldn't say the next big thing. It's kind of the first big thing in employment with young adults on the autism spectrum. Technologynorth.net. He's created an awesome technology. And more than that, really just an awesome opportunity for these young adults on the autism spectrum. He was inspired by his son, Brian. He got to work. He's built an awesome organization in Canada. He's going to spread it globally. Technologynorth.net. Also, our friends at the Original Krabby Bills, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, which is calling our name maybe tonight. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm hopeful, but they're great supporters of the dailyautism.com platform. And so we appreciate them. Live music every single day. It's getting cold across most of the continent, most of the country, and people are flooding down here. So the Original Krabby Bills, truly owners and an organization that invest back in the community that they serve. So we just love being a part of it and love that they're a part of our platform as well. Halloween and the blue pumpkin. You know what the blue pumpkin is, right?
I do.
Yeah. Well, for those that don't, everybody walks around and a lot of the trick-or-treat bags are pumpkins or orange typically, right? Well, now they have a blue one, and that's kind of for autism awareness. It's to signify that the person carrying the pumpkin is autistic, may not respond, may flap, may make noises, or may otherwise just not pay any attention to you all. And you just, you understand that. There's this new movement online, and I can't believe it. Well, I can. There's a movement about everything now. Everything is a movement.
Right.
And it was basically like, don't advertise. They don't use that word, but they basically don't advertise that the child might be autistic. And the reasons are just that, why do we have to point out that the kids are different? And my thing is, we're all because most people don't know, like we know because it's pretty much, it is our life,
Right.
but other people who have a full-time job and do their own thing or whatever, I don't expect them to get up every morning and search the hashtag autism awareness. Do you?
Right. No.
I got to be reasonable. Just be reasonable.
Right.
And for people that say, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's not how you're going to change society, of telling people what they need to do and how they need to act. It just doesn't work like that. So it's better to just say, look, here's this blue pumpkin, and this is what it means. And just so you're aware, and that's it. It's not, I just didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And it wasn't a lot of people, but definitely some loud people who were like, stop announcing that your child is different. So
we've never gotten it, not on purpose. I just haven't ran out and got it.
Yeah.
He's always had a bucket here. But I would probably next year.
Yeah, there's another side to it too, where if you see a blue pumpkin in front of a house that's, giving out candy, then that means that they don't have like the strobe lights, no loud music. Nobody's going to jump out with a chainsaw and scare the kids. So that's kind of like a sensory friendly trick or treat house, which I think is also really good.
Yeah.
To kind of, let people know if you're walking around with kids who are on the spectrum or young adults, who are on the spectrum as well. So I don't know. There's always like a little bit of something. I was talking to a buddy the other day. I was like, gosh, there's some controversy in autism. He's like, how is that possible? I said, I don't know. It just is.
I know. It's strange.
You don't want to get caught up in it, but at the same time, like I did see online some parents just kind of disappear because I felt like then they thought they were doing something wrong. I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong.
No.
Just because a couple of parents say, hey, I don't want to announce that my kid has autism, that's fine. Then don't. It's fine.
It's just people's opinion. Some people's kids that have autism, the kid doesn't even know, like, because the parents don't tell them.
Yep.
Never
let someone's opinion become your reality.
Right.
That has been my saying.
I think that's a good saying.
Yep.
I don't know. I just saw this morning that Walmart is making a sensory-friendly shopping hour from 8 to 10 nationwide.
Yeah, well, so remember I did a bunch of YouTube and TikTok videos about that.
Oh, you added that?
Well, no, they did it for back to school.
Oh,
so
yes.
What I think happened is it worked.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to do it. It was like Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, 8 to 10. They're going to reduce the music and reduce the lights.
Yeah.
So I think that's great.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is a special day or it's every day, but they said nationwide.
Maybe it's for holiday shopping. Maybe it's like pre-holiday.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they did pre-back to school. It would be cool if it was just, hey, every Saturday morning from this time to that time, a place you can go and your child won't necessarily be bothered by what's going on. So, again, I applaud these big companies that try. Thanks for trying. Chuck E. Cheese does some stuff. Studio Movie Grill does some stuff. I just thank you for trying.
Yeah.
Like, appreciate it. Like, it's, I just thank you for trying. Like, it's nice that you take the time to try. Real quick, free diapers and special needs parents. I know, sounds like clickbait. I get it. But here's the deal. I want you to go to dailyautism.com and click on the Aeroflow Urology link. These diapers may be covered 100% with Medicaid. Again, the link is at dailyautism.com, Aeroflow Urology. And this is for your special needs child over 3. Obviously, a lot of special needs kids, especially autistic kids, Cal's not potty trained, he's 6. This could linger on for a couple more years. We know it. We understand it. But the ability to get diapers delivered, you avoid having to go to the store multiple days a week, is really something. So the link again is there at dailyautism.com, Aeroflow Urology. It takes 45, 60 seconds to fill it out and see if you qualify for that. It's been very helpful. Very nice of them. They do great work. They've been doing that over 20 years, by the way.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Very cool. What else did you have? I know it's going to be a short one.
I don't have anything else. I feel like I might have a coughing attack.
A coughing attack.
Which reminds me, it woke me up last night. All of a sudden, I choked on my spit or something, and I started coughing. Well, I didn't wake you up. I went to the bathroom and started coughing.
Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm going to start coughing.
Well, you're not. You're talking and you're smiling.
I just coughed a second ago.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we better go before we have a coughing attack, which sounds very, I might put up the hurricane shutters. It sounds like a coughing attack.
My allergies are bothering me.
Yeah. Okay. And now the downfall. All right. Well, thank you again to all of our partners. Just fantastic partners. Love having these partners to continue to grow this platform and reach new people. DailyAutism.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, our LinkedIn newsletter. You can also connect with our Daily Autism, America's Autism hotline. We love getting the messages. We are responsive, very responsive. It's something we really pride ourselves on, and we've built this community really through that. So we will see you online 24/7, dailyautism.com.